Hello and welcome to the Anchored Mastermind. My name is Shana Joseph, and I am so excited that you're here because you're here to level up. I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that? You're here to level up, to break through where you are to the next level. And the most important part of that breakthrough happens right here. It happens right here. This partnered with action. All right. And that's what we're going to learn about today. I am so excited to introduce you to Amy Sloan. Okay. So, Amy knows a thing or two about building a business, leading people, and helping others believe what's possible. Okay. She's got more than 25 years. Look at her and you can't tell, but girl's got over 25 years of direct sales and leadership skills
Yeah.
under belt. Behind her,
Yeah.
under her belt. What else?
Yeah, I remember like Keisha when I was staying with them. I don't know. She got
And
like, I don't know. She well,
okay. And so please make sure you're muted. Perhaps that's awesome. But she's got experience doing what we do and building others up and growing her team and developing leaders. Okay. She knows how to help people dream bigger and step into their potential. And today, she is now the Central Region Sales Manager for Plexus. I've never worked with a sales manager quite like her. Also, girlfriend is an influencer. Go ahead and check her out on Instagram, and you're going to be so entertained and you're going to fall in love with her more than you do tonight. I swear. You're going to just enjoy her so much. Okay. So she's a motivational speaker. She's hilarious, and she's going to be a grandma soon.
I am. September.
That's
Oh,
amazing. So I'm going to let her take the mic. She's going to take over, and you're all going to enjoy. Take notes. Please take notes. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Go ahead, girl.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. First of all, if you don't see a friend on here that's supposed to be on here, why don't you give them a quick text message because we're going to be talking a lot today about what our mindset is and how what we need to really be focusing on. And we're going to talk a lot about scarcity mindset versus like abundant mindset. But before we talk about all of that, I want to tell you a little bit about me. And so, yes, I am the new Central Regional Sales Manager, and I'm working a lot with the field, but I want you to know who you're working with. Um, I always have said that you can't sell the dream to somebody who's still living the nightmare. And so I like to give people a little perspective of where I came from and the success that I have had, mainly because I want you to see that it's possible. Because I want you to understand like where I've been. I've been in a lot of your shoes and what's possible ahead of you. So first, my story kind of starts back when I was 18 years old. I promise it's not going to take that long, but because that was a long time ago. But I started network marketing when I was 18 years old with Mary Kay. I bet there are some Mary Kay people on this call because it is one of the OGs. Okay. So I started with that company just to make a little bit of extra money. I always had this entrepreneurial spirit about me, and I always like, okay, I knew that God had big plans for me. I didn't know what it was, but I was not afraid to walk through a door that He opened for me. I was like, let's go. Okay, let's see what this is. I wasn't somebody who was afraid of taking risks. And that started back when I was 18. I went to college. I started off in nursing, then went into teaching, and then into interior design, and then became a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for 22 years. I've ran my own salon. I've never had a boss, you guys, until this gig with Plexus. Actually, it was the one before this one, but I've never had a boss. I've been my own boss. Past that, I kept saying, all right, Lord, I've gone to school. I've done this. I still feel like there's more for me. So I got married. I got married at 20 years old, and we were married for 22 years. We had four kids, and we were only going to have two, but I was like, Lord, I just feel like there's something you want more for me. And we had more kids. And then I was like, Lord, I still feel like you want more for me. And what I ended up finding is that I was like feeling like what I had wasn't enough, and I kept looking for more. Well, then I was about 10 years ago, I dabbled in other network marketing companies. And I ended up finding out, it's probably 8 years ago, that my husband at the time had been just lying to me for years. And we had no money. We had to short sell our home. And by the grace of God, we got this house. We were nearly six figures in debt. And my entire world, everything that I had worked for, every door that had opened had just been taken away. We had moved into this house. It was a God thing that we even got the home. And I remember I picked up extra jobs. I was working as a hairstylist in a salon full time, and then I was painting furniture and I was cleaning houses. Like it wasn't for a girlfriend's lack of trying. I was trying to get rid of that nearly six-figure debt. And it wasn't budging. It was not going anywhere. And I hit my knees in my basement. It was probably about a month previous. My husband at the time was uh, I found out he was also an alcoholic. And then 2 years before that, he was diagnosed bipolar. So it was just everything felt like it was just crashing down. I just hit my knees and I said, Lord, I need a lifeline. Like I've kept going and followed, through these doors. I've done what you've asked me to do. I've been faithful. Why? Why is all of this happening right now? And I remember the next day, I got a text message from a acquaintance of mine. And she said, Hey, this may sound really weird because I know it looks like your life is good. You've got your businesses. You're probably not looking for anything like this, but I would love to send you some product to try and just see what you think. She didn't know what was going on in my life. Everybody thought it was great. Everybody thought, like, oh, we're just downsizing because we want to be the cool hip family that has a smaller house that's 100 years old that needs a lot of work, but it sounds so fun. That's what they saw on their side of things because we portray things well, we want others to see a lot of times. Well, I hit my knees pleading for that lifeline, and God brought it to me through the company I was with previously, which was Mon8. Mon8 ended up being something that transformed my life. I jumped in. I was guns a-blazing, ignorance on fire. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just sharing a product that I knew everybody loved because I had seen somebody that said they were making $1,000 a month. And I was like, balls, I want $1,000 a month. Like that is life changing for me. And so I went and I was like, how do I make $1,000 a month? I mapped it out. Just how many people do I have to have buying this shampoo? And I hit it. And I was like, okay, now what else can I do? God, I feel like you think there's more that you want from me. So my next goal was $5,000 a month. And then my next goal was that. And I kept achieving this incredible success. But there was still something inside me. And it was like, Lord, I know you want more from me. And I don't know what that is, but I'm going to keep doing it. You guys, I hit the top of the company. I got the trips. I got the car, and I still just felt like what? It didn't feel like enough. And it wasn't because I wasn't grateful. I just felt like God had this big plan for me. I can remember standing at I stood at the very first church service for Mon8 at the first convention. There was an optional church service. And I remember in that moment realizing, it was in that moment that I realized that that company was going to change my life. And I stood there and I listened to a testimony. And then they sang, if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And I remember looking around the room with my hands raised across the hall or across the aisle from me, from corporate members, their hands raised, saying, if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? The president of the company right next to me, hands raised. If our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? So there were a lot of things that led me to this moment until one day God made it very clear, and I can't talk much about it, but God made it very clear that Mon8 was not where I was supposed to be. And I was so confused because he led me there. Everything led me to there. It changed my life. It was something that I knew was supposed to be a part of my life forever. And I was like, I don't understand this, Lord. Why are you taking this away from me? It was so clear I needed to leave. It was not integrity. The integrity was gone. There were lots of things that were. It was not the place I needed to be. I want to tell you so much, but I can't. So I had to walk away. And for 2 years, I was like, I still struggled. Lord, why did you take me away from that? Well, Monty had also brought me the ability to be able to get out of a very abusive marriage, be able to thrive with my kids, be able to do these amazing things. So you can see how I was very confused when he said, you need to leave. And I walked away from a really incredible income through a community that I loved. And you guys know, like, you have that here. And I walked away still questioning, Lord, why? Well, I joined Alavita. thinking, all right, Lord, this is where you want me. And I proved to myself, I was scared, but I proved to myself that I was capable of building a team. I built a really great team there. It was great. But the Lord was still telling me, like, Amy, you don't belong here. This isn't where you belong. And I walked away again. And then I got a call about 10 months ago from a man that said, hey, Amy, have you ever thought about the corporate side of things? And I was like, I mean, maybe, but I don't have like the education and I didn't go to school for this. And he said, but you have all of the skills you've built and rebuilt over and over again. You have the success story of where you've gone and you've developed systems. You know what you're doing. And I believe in you. And I thought, I really would love to give it a try. Let's just see. I'll give it a try. I dove into it and it became something that was incredible. I loved working with people, but again, God was telling me this isn't the place for you. You guys, this is a lot of following the path, doing what he's asked me to do, to hit a roadblock and say, you know what, Amy, you did good, but this is the end of the road here because I have something else for you. So I got the call for Plexus and I was like, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to do it. I've done the corporate side. I know that I love it, but I think this company could be something great for me. And I will tell you, one of the biggest reasons why is the man that was across the aisle from me at that very first church service was Stuart McMillan. He entered my life at the very beginning of this story. He changed my life through money and became an incredible friend of mine. When I thought God was taking me away from the things that he gave me, he was directing me down a path with a man that he purposely, God divine, I know, put into my life. And he gave me all of those wins along the way to take it away, to show me that I was capable of now being a part of a company that already feels like home, being a part of a company that I know is filled with all of these believers, being a part of a company that I know that he believes with his whole heart from the leadership, if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? Guys, I truly believe my purpose because not only am I impacting my team now, I'm impacting and having the ability to impact thousands of teams on this side of Plexus. So that's where Plexus kind of falls into my story. And I hope that you guys can feel my passion for what I believe this is going to be, not just my life, but for your lives. You guys, this has been, and at least for me, from the outside looking in, from now looking back in time, this has been orchestrated by God for years. And I will tell you, whatever God puts in my path, I am successful at. And I am determined to be successful at this position by helping you guys achieve the success that I know God has for you. That's why I'm here. And I'm so incredibly excited to be a part of it. When I've been talking to Noelle, Noelle can attest to the fact that I also really do know my crap. I got the systems. I know the things that work to make this business not just work and be great, but work for you. Everybody on this call, like I wanted to be successful in network marketing to, yes, erase that nearly six-figure debt, but to come home to my babies, to watch my 4 children grow up, and now be able to watch my grandbaby grow up. This industry has the ability to transform lives, and we have it in our hands. You literally have that gift. And so one of the things I want to talk about tonight, I'm going to go ahead and transition it. I've been about halfway, and the second half is supposed to be training. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I was worried that was going to take longer. But I want to talk to you guys about the scarcity mindset that could be sabotaging your business. And you're not doing it in a way it's not malicious. It's not, we can almost see it as that scarcity mindset as being humble. Okay. And so I want to talk about what a scarcity mindset could look like And then I want to talk about, even from a biblical perspective, an abundance mindset, how you can get there, and how not only having that mindset can change your business, but it will change your life. Because we live in a mindset of scarcity all the time. There's a part of me that thinks back to my story, and I think when I was saying, Lord, I know you want more for me, I'm not getting enough. There was a part of it that did come from a little bit of scarcity because I didn't believe that there was enough room for me at the tip top of the success. And how many of you guys can relate to that, right? And so I want to talk to you, first of all, just to give you the actual meaning of like what is the scarcity mindset, okay? Believing there isn't enough success. I know you guys will relate to some of these. Believing there isn't enough success, money, opportunity, recognition, or resources to go around for everyone. Operating from a fear instead of faith, or viewing someone else's success as a threat instead of proof that it's possible. Very, very common, whether you want to admit it or not. You can admit it in your head right now, God knows. But a lot of people, that's something we struggle with. These are signs, okay? Signs that you might be operating from scarcity. Comparing yourself to others constantly. And I bet 9.5 people out of 10 on this call can relate to that. Feeling just jealous or intimidated by another person's success. Hesitating to invest in yourself or your business. See, think about that. Do you hesitate to invest in yourself and in your business? That comes from scarcity, and we're going to talk about that. Focusing on what you lack instead of what you have. Right? And then living in fear of failure, rejection, or loss. These are signs that you could be operating from scarcity. Just drop a heart if you can relate to any of those things, even if it's just one that you have been operating in that space. And this is how that scarcity mindset is sabotaging your success. One, it limits your vision. Think about it. It limits your vision. You can't pursue opportunities that you don't believe in. Take that in. This limits your vision because you can't pursue it if you don't believe it exists. You have to believe that it's possible. It creates fear-based decisions. Fear causes hesitation, procrastination, and playing small. Take that in again. Fear causes hesitation, procrastination, and playing small. It also kills confidence. You begin doubting your abilities and your potential when you have a scarcity mindset. You need to start thinking yourself as the unique creation that God made in everything that you do. If you stop being like stop worrying about being like somebody else. We're going to get to that point, but I felt like I needed to say that to somebody, so I did. All right. Damages relationships. This is where competition replaces collaboration. This is something even Christian women, we do it. We do it all the time. We compete. Even if it's up here, we're competing. Prevents growth. You become focused on protecting what you have rather than expanding what is possible. How many of you guys have gotten protection mode? Like, I don't want to try, I just want to maintain this because this feels safe. This feels safe right now. If I go outside of this, it doesn't feel safe. It could be risky, right? And it blocks, this is a big one, especially as a Christian woman, this blocks gratitude. I'm going to say this line slowly. It's hard to attract more when you're constantly focused on what's missing. Okay? All right, now I want to talk to you about some characteristics of an abundance mindset. How many of you guys would love an abundance mindset that's biblically sound, that you're like, all right, I'm going to stop fighting against myself and start thinking abundantly about what I can do with my life? One, an abundant mindset believes opportunities are unlimited. Opportunities are unlimited. So celebrates others' wins without feeling threatened. Guys, this one resonates with me. Like, I can remember wanting to be so happy for the girl that hit the rank before me. But let's face it, I wanted to hit the ring before her. You know what I mean? Like that happened. That was real. And I had to check myself and think, all right, I'm really truly happy for her, right? And we have to like play those mind, we have to talk to ourselves. An abundance mindset invests in growth and personal development. It's not a cost, it's an investment. People with abundant mindsets, they invest in those things that grow them. See setbacks as lessons, not failures. This is a big one for me. Even when my kids fail, I'm like, good for you. I'm proud of you because that means you tried. If you're not failing, if you're not trying things, then you're not failing. If you're just, doing the same thing over and over again because you know it's safe, great. You're not failing. To actually get to the next phase of success is to try things and fail and learn from them and do the next right thing. Failure means you're actually trying. And I beg to challenge you that if you haven't failed recently, I want you to ask yourself if you really, really got honest with yourself, if you really tried and gave it your all. Because I bet those would lead to some failures. You'd learn, but I bet if you really, really, really gave it your all, you would have some failures along the way. The best stories don't come from ones that like, oh, I joined the business and everybody signed up with me and I'm just a millionaire. They don't put those stories on stage because they don't exist. There's failures and things that happen along the way. All right, we operate out of faith, gratitude, and generosity. And we understand that success, that there's enough room for everyone to win. Okay? Now, here are some practical ways now to shift from that scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset, right? Here's one. Start every day with gratitude. A lot of us wake up and we do our devotions. I want you to not just do your devotion, I want you to write down what you are grateful for. When you can connect to what you're grateful for in your life, all of a sudden you're not focused on the things that you lack. You're focused on the things that you have. Start your day with some gratitude. Celebrate someone else's success every single day. And this is also a very selfless thing. Anytime I reach out to someone to tell them I'm thinking about them, you're doing great. I saw that you did this today. I'm proud of you. Yeah, it makes them feel good, but it makes me feel real good too because I know that made them feel good. So reach out to somebody else every single day to just show them you see them. You're recognizing their success. Replace I can't afford it or that's too much money to how can I create the resources for this? Okay? How can I create the resources for this? Focus on serving others rather than selling them. Service, serve them over selling them. When you serve people, when you are offering them solutions, it no longer becomes a sale. You become a solution solver. You become a connector. Speak life over your goals and future. 2 Corinthians 9:8 says, and God is able to bless you abundantly, so that all things at all times, having all that you need, will abound in every good work. So I want you to spend time praying that over your goals because he wants to bless you abundantly. Okay? And then surround yourself with people who challenge you to think bigger. Ones that actually don't just challenge you to think bigger. They themselves are thinking bigger. Surround yourself by those people. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time just at the end here on some specific little things, but a closing thought when it comes to this abundance mindset over scarcity is I want you to remember that someone else's success is not proof of your limitation. There's more to this, but I want to pause there because I've done a lot of coaching calls. And I hear a lot of people say, what is that person doing that I need to do? And here's what I want to tell you. Their success is not proof of your limitation. You're not limited. You're not doing the wrong thing. Lean into who you are. Do that personal development. Invest in you. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing because you have the magic in you. That's a song that just came to my head. I got the magic in me. That's what it made me think about. Like you have that magic. So Remember, someone else's success is not proof of your limitation. It's proof of what's possible. Okay? When we stop competing and start believing, we create room for everyone to thrive. You know, people talk about like manifestation and all of those things. And while I think it's a really great concept and, maybe it works in their way, but I think manifestation is really just an abundance mindset. It's thinking about what's possible and looking at things as possibilities, not living in the scarcity and understanding that there is one. I think it's an abundance mindset a lot of times. It can be called many different things, but I think for us, that's what it is. It's walking in God's purpose every single day, being grateful for what He's put into our lives as we're doing it, being aware when there might be a detour, being aware when a failure may actually end up leading you to the very place that He's wanting you to go. God has a plan. And maybe your plan started 10 years ago, 12 years ago, like mine did. I don't know how quickly God's plan is going to come to fruition for you, but I know He has a plan. And I know that it's filled with abundance. And I know that if you lean into the directions that He is guiding you and you are filled with that gratitude when you go into every single day, I know that there is going to be something that God is going to do big in your life. I don't know what big looks like to you, but I know that God hears your prayers. He hears your goals. He knows where you're going. He knows where you've been. And so lean into just walking with Him and focusing on the good, focusing on the abundance and faith over fear. So, the last thing I want to leave you guys with is I really want to challenge you starting tomorrow morning. When you wake up, before your feet touch the ground, grab a notebook. I have a bazillion notebooks. I'm not joking. These are all just sitting here. Grab a notebook and put it right next to your bed. And I want you to write down, even if it's just one thing you are grateful for before your feet hit the ground. I promise you that one act will get you closer in that shift towards an abundance mindset. Just that one small act. My second challenge for you is to find somebody who is going to sharpen you. Who in this group can sharpen you? Maybe this group is to sharpen you, and I'm proud of you for being here. But those people that can surround you, that can challenge you to think bigger, to challenge your scarcity mindset at times, and to lead you closer to where you want to be in your life. Those are my 2 action steps for you. If this is that group for you, sometimes it's comfortable to be in a group. I would challenge you to find a person. They are our sharpeners, and we have to be in community with one another to be able that the iron sharpens iron, right? We have to have those iron sharpeners in our lives. And so one thing you can do right away, that gratitude thing, it may take you weeks, months to find that person. But once you start looking for them, because God will reveal them to you when you're looking. All right. Sorry, I went 1 minute over.
Amy, that was amazing.
I think,
First of all,
I think everybody would have liked you to just keep on going. See the chat.
Well, I'm trying to be respectful of everybody's time.
The chat was blowing up. It was great. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Noelle, you go for it.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's okay. Amy, the second I talked to you on that first call, I was like, you need to speak to our group. Like, you are incredible. You are so inspiring. And that's what we're always trying to do for each other. And it was funny because I was thinking, oh, for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Noelle Russo Waller. I'm an Emerald Ambassador, and I am so grateful to be a part of this group. And we are absolutely grateful every one of you came on today. Amy brought so much fire and so much passion. And I had a couple of thoughts because anyone who knows me knows the biggest thing I speak on is what you focus on, you create, right? And we're always looking at our words and our thoughts. And if you start just calling your thoughts out loud, you will pay attention. Are you speaking light into your life? Are you talking towards your goals or away from your goals? And if you can get that awareness, That is key, because if you can get that awareness, you can say it, you can talk back to it, you can find that person that can speak life into you and believe into you until you believe in yourself. And when I first started 11 and a half years ago, I had to be that person for me. I would walk around saying, like, combating my thoughts all day long and sound like a crazy person. But I went from one person to a pro fitness competitor just by speaking life. So I always say there's 3 G's you should focus on, and that's gratitude, growth, and giving. So just like Amy said, every day, what can you be grateful for? Where can you grow? And where can you give, right? There's no better feeling than giving. So if you're ever having a moment where you're feeling less than or you don't feel great, go be a blessing to someone because it will change your life. And then I had taken a quick note that I wanted to end this. Oh, sorry, there's Hold Me, Jesus. I wanted to end this with who you surround yourself with, and then Amy talked about that. So this group here, we are a Christian coaching group. We do masterminds. We are here to lift and inspire you and teach you and grow together. And like Amy said, I think it's really important. Like I just went and found a new power partner, and then it turned out being 4 of them. But like find your people that can challenge you. So when you look at the people in your life, are they speaking life into you? Are they celebrating your wins or are they negative? Are they talking about what you can't do or what they can't do? Are they challenging you to grow? And are they inspiring you to dream bigger? So that's one thing I would love for you guys to write down and start listening throughout your day. Because in 11 and a half years ago, even though the product saved my life and the business and everything else, the community, what's made me realize that I did not have very good people in my life. And every year since, my life has looked completely different because of the people I've surrounded myself with. So look at those people. I'm not saying you got to go get rid of all your friends and family, but I did pretty much. You just need to make sure you spend less time with people that are talking down to you because thoughts are contagious. And don't take advice from someone who doesn't have what you want. If someone doesn't have the health you want, don't go take their health advice. Someone doesn't have the marriage or the relationship or the finances, you're not going to listen to them, right? So I just want to tell you to look at what they have before you take their advice. God has a plan for you. God says it in the Bible. God has a plan for you to prosper and not to harm you. So focus on God's plan. So I want to invite you guys, if you're not already a part of Anchored, reach out to whoever invited you, join the Facebook group, the message chats. Thursday at noon, we have Work and Worship where we all get together and listen to worship music and inspire and teach you how to work this business. And the best thing about working this business is you get to make an impact in other people's lives. You get to change people's lives, and there's no greater feeling in the world. I am going to end with a gratitude prayer. Some of you who know me have heard them before. I start every morning, instead of with writing down 1 to 3 things I'm grateful for, I get right down next to my bed on my hands and knees, and I do a gratitude prayer. And it's a rampage of appreciation, but it's not just for what I have. Sure, you can say, look at my family, Plexus is always there, my team's always there, all the things you see, but then start thanking God for what he's doing. Because if you thank God with intentions and expectations, you will start to see him. When you thank God for the people he's putting in your path, the opportunities, the people he puts on your hearts for you to reach out to, I go through the day all day like, ooh, God sent you to me. Oh, God sent that idea to me. And you will start seeing it everywhere. So I'm going to do a quick prayer and then we will let you guys go, but just don't walk this walk alone. Make sure you reach out to people, plug into these things. And so here we go. Oh, I just want to thank you, God. I want to thank you for each and every person that took the time out of their evening to show up here. Thank you that you have given us this this urge for more, this knowing that we were made for more, that you have placed a plan in our path and that we just have to walk faithfully in your light, that we have to have this just joyful childlike trust and faith in your plan and know that faith-based action, that we just need to listen and obey, and when we ask for your guidance, we can feel you everywhere. God, strengthen the Holy Spirit inside every one of us. Let us be more like Jesus. Let us leave each person in place better than when we found it. That we can leave each person with a feeling of, gratitude and joy and kindness and compassion and love. That everyone feels belief, that everyone feels your love. Thank you for filling each one of our friends here with this unconditional love that you have for them, with this unconditional love for themselves so they can share it with others. Thank you for just letting them lean in, that you cast out anything that is not of you and you replace it with your peace that surpasses all understanding. Thank you that each morning and each night we start and end our day in complete surrender, in complete gratitude, and that we can look every day not for the problems, but for the solutions, that we can look every day for the miracles you're putting, the surprises along the way, the people, the ideas, the opportunities, that if we ask, we shall receive. And you tell us this, and we ask that you give us these ideas. Thank you for blessing every person on this call and just showing them to always plug in and be around people that inspire them to be bigger, to be greater, to dream larger, and that you put these people in our lives to impact and inspire us. And thank you for Amy tonight. Okay. So thank you guys so much. We love you all. We love you, Amy, and we're here every Tuesday night.
Well, thanks for having me. I'll probably join you again. It was great.
Please do. I wasn't really supposed to talk, but I want you to hear some of the messages that were in the chat. It was blowing up the entire time. So I just feel like I need to speak for the entire group, how happy they were to get to hear from you. This call was fire from beginning to end. We are so thankful that you're part of Plexus and that you followed that nudge one more time. Noelle, thank you for that prayer at the end. That was amazing. Good night, everybody.